Eighth grade lesson 9.2 is properties of reflections now. Think of reflections like a mirror, or probably even better in this circumstance, like a fold in the page. And I'll get to what I mean by that. Two vocabulary words that we're adding to what we learned from lesson 9.1. Here they are. A reflection is a transformation that flips across a line. And like I said, I think of it in terms of folded too, you'll see. And a line of reflection is the line that it flips across, or in terms of the fold, where you fold the paper. Let's look at an example. I think one example will do. I may do two. We'll see. Okay, let's say that the question asks us to flip this pre-image across the x-axis. So usually it'll say flip it across the x-axis, flip it across the y-axis. Let's say it asks us to flip it across the x-axis. Here's the x-axis. Okay, think of the x-axis as where you're going to fold the page. And think of this pre-image as being very wet ink, so that when you do fold this, so that this half meets up with this half, you're going to see the pre-image show up over here. That's a reflection. So, easiest way, if I'm going to do that, is to say, I'm just going to count how far from the x-axis is point C, 1, 2. So I'll go the opposite way, 1, 2. How far from the x-axis is point A, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'll go the opposite way, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And point B is 2 from the x-axis, so we'll mark it 2 from the x-axis the opposite way. Connect the dots. And there is your image, pre-image and the image. It's the same shape and everything, but it's equal distance from the x-axis because they asked us to reflect across the x-axis. It would be the marking you would get if this was wet ink and you folded on the x-axis. If they'd asked us to reflect across the y-axis, then that's where we're folding the page. Wet ink, where is, if I fold it here, where is my image going to show up from my wet pre-image? Over here, right? So, same thing. I'm going to count opposites from the y-axis this time. So A is 2 away, so I would mark it there. C is 2 away, so I would mark it here. And B is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I go the opposite way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Mark it there. Connect the dots. And that is my reflection. That is my image of the pre-image from a reflection across the y-axis. So this is across the y-axis, and this is a reflection across the x-axis. That's what this lesson is doing. Okay, we'll do one more example. Probably you're not really needing me to do this, but in case you would like to see it one more time, or you just like hearing my voice, here is one more example. This figure shows a pentagon, 5-sided figure, ABCDE, pentagon ABCDE. They want us to graph the image of the pentagon after a reflection across the y-axis. So when they say across the y-axis, they mean the y-axis is where our fold is going to be. So if that's where we're folding it, then our pre-image is going to end up over here, right? Okay, so I will just simply count 1, 2, 3 to get to the D, go the opposite way, 1, 2, 3, and mark it. That's D. 2 more from there will give me E. 1, 2 to get to C, 1, 2 the other way. 1, 2, 3 to get to B, 3 the other way. And then 2 more from there, 1, 2, there's A. And connect your points with a straight line ideally. Pretend that's straight. And there is my reflection across the y-axis. Now, if they had asked us to reflect it across the x-axis instead, then this would be where I would fold it. This shape would end up on this quadrant right here. But the same way, if this is 1 from the x-axis, then it would be 1 here and 1 here. And I'd end up with the same shape, just reversed on the other side. It would look like this. pretending those were straight lines, it would look like that. E is this one, D, A, B, and C points. So that is reflections. Are you still enjoying your math vacation after conquering chapter 8? This one is almost as easy as 9.1. So transformations, a nice break. All right, good job.